Greetings from that city on the bay. This is the Mongoose Internet Audio Show. Today's subject of interest involves the #1 trends forecaster, Gerald Celente. Admittedly, Mr. Celente is right about almost everything when it comes to economics. Unfortunately, it appears as though he may have lost the ball. Although Mr. Celente has told us that he doesn't give investment advice, it is quite obvious that he has been advocating gold investment in what I believe to be more than an indirect fashion. Even though he may not be directly telling people to invest in gold, if he promotes it the way he does, it is, in my opinion, advocacy. The fundamental problem with this is that we are no longer in a normal and predictable economic situation. The U.S. as well as the rest of the world is being seized while a massive worldwide military psyop is taking place. The common people of the United States, as well as Great Britain, are being brought to their knees, and their constitutions and national patriotism are being undermined and destroyed. Trillions upon trillions have already been siphoned out of the U.S. to foreign international banking cartels. Concentration camps, known as FEMA camps, have been built all over the country since at least the Clinton administration. The UN papers that the president will most likely sign will surrender U.S. sovereignty to a fascist world government that has made it clear that it intends on transferring the wealth of the West to third world countries. They say the West has made a huge carbon footprint and the third world countries haven't. A deceptive excuse if you ask me. In a military psyop, economic scarcity and civil unrest are intentionally provoked while the individual rights of the people are rapidly stripped. The point that I am making is that the odds of gold being controlled or made illegal is very great. Therefore, the risk is logically too high. People, including Mr. Celente, have been behaving as though the common investment practices in a free market economy are as good as before. Ask yourself this: if you were in Poland while Hitler's Nazis were attacking, do you think that saving gold coins will save you? Also, if the dollar collapses, as many top economists predict, then all the dollars that you get for all your gold coins may not amount to much. In an economic collapse, it may cost a wheelbarrow full of cash for a loaf of bread. It happened in Germany and Zimbabwe. Gold is too big of a risk, and Gerald Celente and others may be misleading investors by praising it. Gold has been made illegal before under lesser circumstances than what we may be facing now. The good news is that there are some markets that will thrive during severe economic times. If the U.S. experiences a massive economic downfall, the standard of living of most U.S. citizens will decline. One thing that's for certain is that the Henry Ford automobile revolution will reverse. Instead of going from bikes, carts, and wagons to automobiles, we will go from automobiles to bikes, carts, and wagons, especially bikes and carrying accessories. So this phenomenon is one investment idea to consider. The next is shelving, but not furniture. Furniture will probably be a loser unless it's dirt cheap. Shelving, on the other hand, is a winner. When hyperinflation causes people to downgrade to smaller living spaces, they don't want to throw out their precious possessions. Therefore, shelving must be incorporated to make their space in their smaller living spaces. Even if they want to sell their possessions, most people don't have garages or the necessary sales skills. Shelving will become a necessity. Last but not least is the legal medical cannabis movement. This market is already exploding all over California and other places. The reason is very simple. The disabled people who obtain the necessary paperwork to access these clubs are a major catalyst between the pot clubs and the non-members. In cities like San Francisco, almost everyone knows a club member who can go in and bring out the product. Club members can even travel from one club to another, buying the maximum amount in each club. They can also grow up to 3 plants in their homes. Pot crimes are the last priority in San Francisco. Gee, I wonder why. Look at it this way. A gold mine gets mined and then it's empty. A marijuana field is a gold mine that grows again and again and again, and so on. The legalization of marijuana, which is rapidly happening, will eventually create an enormous tax base. A couple of Bible thumpers I knew in the 80s went camping next to a marijuana field. A helicopter came right down on top of them. Law enforcement agents with semi-automatic rifles came out and pointed them at the two Bible thumpers. After questioning them, they decided that they weren't a threat. The helicopters left them and the huge marijuana field behind. Don't think for a second that the government doesn't have its eye on those profits. A friend of mine who did time in prison said that a little pin joint of pot would sell for $15 easy. On the other hand, people will pay just about anything to get high, especially in hard economic times. This concludes the latest edition of the Mongoose Internet Audio Show. Also, don't forget to check out my channel. Good night.